Hello, gang. Welcome back to Pyre. It has been a month, give or take. Uh, uh yeah, I want to say that stuff kept coming up, but I don't think that's necessarily true considering the quarantine and all. But this past week I've been pretty exhausted because my area opened back up, so I've been going back to work. My sleep schedule's all fucked up. My feet hurt, and it sucks. But we're here today. Yeah, I did go through with making that video I talked about maybe 2 sessions ago. Came out alright. There's definitely a distinct lack of quality to it, but you know, it was better than I thought I could have done. Let's see, I've also got 2 games to talk about later, I think. Yeah, no, 3. It's been a month, you'd think I'd finish more than 2. Yeah, 3. Got that to look forward to later, but I want to say there was like 3 or 4 more cycles left, which could mean maybe this session, could mean there's another one. We'll see. If I don't think there's enough of the game left, I'll like extend this to like a 3-hour thing maybe. Oh wait, 3 is like the normal time. Whatever, a little more. You know what I mean. Not that I'm not enjoying it, but you know, I'm getting an itch to play something else. And for whatever reason, I'm not used to just doing 2 things at once anymore. There's a period when I did, and it usually ended up with me ignoring one for a long time before going back to it.
Stare gaste. I don't know why this thought's only come to me now, but, you know, it was kind of a bold choice for them to expect us to care about freeing all these criminals. And I get that someone like Headwind who deserted because he was in love with one of the enemies, that's like not so egregious that yeah, maybe he does deserve freedom. But considering that you don't know anything about these people at the beginning, it takes a long time for them to open up to you, you have to assume that they've all done terrible things to be exiled. Also, look at this, it's snowing. That's probably a bad omen. You may have noticed that it hadn't stopped raining since after the first rite, when, you know, the cycle started speeding up. I guess you'd consider snow to be even worse weather than rain, because, you know, it's cold.
Fazla room desktop.
It's also, of course, the idea of snow signaling Ragnarok or whatever from Greek mythology. Not Greek, Norse. I don't know why I said that.
Despeleri Trandes.
Lighten. Huh? Look at this handsome mate. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I feel like his face shape is similar to that of Minstrel. I'll have to take another look at him. There is a... That is definitely the girl who plays the Sun Lute or whatever. And her skin color is different, but again, similar face shape. I could be talking out my ass, but explain where the heck they are. And there's Ulrich looking epic as ever. Okay, well, Brian regained his freedom. But maybe he came back down, what do I know? Why we can do that? She paid the price as in what? She was incinerated, or was she enslaved and had her skin color changed, or maybe she was burnt? I'm sure they're not. I'm sure they're different people.
Renira Vastegas. Renam Noxaras.
Well, we knew it was a matter of time. But we got Wolfred now. He's gonna be our tree boy. Like, the plan was to get someone for each mass, so obviously he was gonna join the team eventually. I wonder why he chose now. So he can fight against his old companion that he feels bad for? Doesn't entirely make sense. But you know what? We're probably gonna lose to him, so he'll get his chance. Right, now there's something else I just thought of. The minstrel, he looks like a human, right? I've insisted that he's probably not human in whatever way. The spirit or an angel or something of that nature. The other music lady, she definitely seems like an angel with all the white and gold and whatnot. Anyways, if he were actually human, he's obviously been in a downside for a long time, so he should have horns. But he doesn't. Which I think maybe lends credence, I think that's a word, towards the idea that he was the first man whose name I already forget, the guy who got out. Because whenever people go up the fall, they have like white robes on, so him being all white would make sense in that context. It's not much to go on, but I think it's a big deal that he doesn't have horns. I feel like I can probably fight them easy. And this map's very open, they're pretty screwed there. God, I do not remember this team. I know they're the first guys we fought, but they're just so Barker isn't a bad team to go against. I'll probably go against Manny. Man, maintain your stuff. Offspring of the semi-famous sap industrialist. Oh yeah, I'm reading him, guys, I forgot. He was born into wealth and lived in a lot of luxury, never having to fend for himself. When he came of age, he soon was offered cushy ambassador position that required little more than a silver tongue to convince the Commonwealth that he was keeping busy. I mean, that's all you gotta do, right? I just feel like the presidents don't do much, but you got the silver tongue to convince people you're a good president, then you're good. Or you can be a goofball that says ridiculous things on Twitter. He soon grew so proficient at doing nothing much at all that he started spending his family's riches to serve his fame and status. One day he attempted to pay off the wrong individuals, and a particularly stern Commonwealth diplomat who promptly turned him in and had him sent downriver. Manly was very disappointed by all this, but soon saw it as an opportunity. Of course he did. For he knew well that in inner circles there were those who had gone into exile and returned. Thanks to his connections, tracked down Chastity deep in Wakenwood, he finagled his way into the triumvirate using his own skill. Stern convinced himself that he would earn a position of great influence once he secured a way back to his home, continued making hollow promises. Okay, well, all it seems like Manly is just someone not to be trusted. I don't think that anything bad would necessarily happen if you went into the Commonwealth. It'd just be like a waste of space.
He just wants to be able to do nothing and not feel like a piece of shit. When I get, an entry on the chastity. Let's inspect. The Law of Three. That's, 3 boss phases. You hurt them once the one way, and then you do another puzzle to hurt them again. And then the third time, it's a bit old. So they either change it up or the boss is dead. Those 3. Sometimes they try to trip you up by doing 4, and you're just like, oh, that didn't feel good. That's why it's a Law of 3. Anyways, during the rite, each Reverend shall act as one, only without question. Shall suffer banishment or permanent expulsion. Exile should move as a single mind, demonstrate their faith, and recognize that they, as the 8, cannot prevail alone. The work shall be determined both by their actions and by their peers. Triumvirants lacking experience in this may designate a reader whose focus on the book may help the others coordinate. However, only those who shall conduct the rites firsthand shall walk the path towards enlightenment and become eligible. So is this like an in-universe explanation for why only one of them moves at a time? As the reader, I'm mind controlling them, and they're just working it and let me do whatever I want. I forget how to control the books. I'm just gonna open up and it'll be on a new page, I'm sure. Burning Pyre. At the appointed time, the aligning of the stars, the heavens, shall rain down upon the ground sufficiently prepared, and thus 2 opposing pyres shall be set ablaze. Thus shall commence the rite. Triumvirants are to protect their pyres as they would their lifeblood. Lifeblood itself is never to be shed before, during, or after any rite, unless to disobey or suffer permanent expulsion. Exile is injury enough. The rite is an act of mercy. Fear not the purifying flame, plunge into it headlong and without fear, for those shall be protected by the stars themselves. Freedom in flame. Alright. Exiles bearing the raiments in this book shall reveal their hidden aura and the color of their flame. The aura is the exile's solitary weapon in the rite. Should one's adversary cross one's aura, its adversary shall be banished. Banishment is fleeting nothingness. Keep the pyre's light and thus make your return. The exile's presence shapes the aura. Exiles gain greater auras while staying side by side with their opponents, where they gain strength together. Exiles may cast their aura through sheer force. We'll focus on this book. Afterward, listen. As an exile, the downside of the reader's book as conductor of the rites, you are engaged now in a cycle which has lasted since dawn of the age. Within this part of the book is offered a summary of all the figures, locales, terms, and astral phenomena you shall encounter either firsthand or in passing on your path. To know the history of the downside of the rites is to prepare yourself to walk the path towards enlightenment, and then the liberty itself. Should you can remember, reveal not to write to anyone the existence of this book. Well, that wasn't a list of terms. Oh. Alright, well. Right. The old Galathian known as Master General and Nomad Scribe who wields the legendary Tower Shield Oath Taker. Sounds epic.
Oh, the swallow, known as the cursed nymphs, possesses legendary wings of misfortune. For many pain, Alpha Chief, First Scribe, those legendary jaw blade, E-Bender, Blue Squarian, as the 100 Minds, and Staff Scribe, wields legendary staff, the genealogy of Squarian. Genealogy? Does it mean that this staff is made of him? The other things are just like terms that, we've all figured out. Knowing exactly what the scribes are, I thought would be interesting though. The teams don't mean anything anymore because the people in them changed. Right. Right, that's enough reading for now. That last section, I'm probably gonna skip. It's mostly just giving us exact information on stuff that we already know, which is kind of unnecessary. It feels like something that would be in the book, but not something that I would put in the book. Oh wait, hold on, the mushrooms grew back. I forgot this is even a thing. Let's go do a rite.
I do so hate to thusly contact you, O reader. Yet an awful rumor reached me recently that you have within your retinue a traitor to the Nightwings and the Commonwealth alike. But you would never harbor such a traitor, now would you? I trust your time within the downside would have taught you that.
Hey, I have to assume he's talking about Volfred, but in what way is he a traitor to the Commonwealth? I get he's a criminal there, but a traitor? He hasn't gone back or anything like that. And again, if we go back to what I was saying before, maybe he's talking about the minstrel. Right? If we're assuming that he's someone who got out and came back, that would make him a traitor in some way, right? And also explain why he's such good friends with Wolfred. Talisman. That's a maybe. I feel like I'm good with my equipment. If Dario wants to take it, probably gets her buff or something. Dragon soars across the skies of Waking Wood. You know it's Wolfred if you're lost thought. You cannot sense straight away what he's thinking.
Vistara Tamuje.
I guess I'll go with the talisman. At the very least, I can sell it.
Huh. Ligaristas. Certe no verás. Arevare maletas. Ordi remistos. Nare tempridage. Domni sempre vincit.
%. This feels a little rigged, to be honest. I've set one person free, and I remember, what was this, at 25% when I didn't set anyone free? Now there's someone who can actually do something. We're at 42%. Seems like a bit much. Also, I don't even remember who I set free. It's been that long. I think it was Headland. While I'm here, Wilfred needs a talisman, right? Pretty useful. I'm not sure how Wilfred controls yet, and my god, this man has all the green. Pretty cool. So, if I get banished while near someone, I suck them in, and presumably my aura kills them? Which sounds pretty useful. We're gonna try that.
Taverastaritas.
Procure an artifact, either discard a witness power. Take a song. Nil Nyland Leech. Like a snail. After banishing an adversary, there is a chance to instantly recover all stamina. Pretty cool. I might give that to Pamitha. That third thing makes her faster when she flies, if I'm not mistaken. Which is something I want for her. Okay, so I like this, but I feel like it's only been popping once per match. And that's probably true because it sounds pretty great. And again, it could also just be that I let go of the fly button. Don't dump it out, dude. Someone else will benefit from it. You know what, I'll equip this and see how it works. I feel like Wilfred's a slow guy, though. his stamina won't be too useful. I have to assume this is a messenger input. It's actually wrong. That's what it sounded like.
Oh, look, white eyes.
It sounds sketchy, but I'm gonna help him anyway. And he'll give me a discount.
Compose your power mice. One pure poppy.
Alright, we took him about 2 feet and we reached our destination.
Para sufrías, papi.
Oh! Those are points, right? Ow! And he probably wouldn't have sold me this artifact if I told him no, but it better be worth it. The Black Hoof. Pyre has 100% more stamina. Like, what's the point? Alright. I'm dumb, of course. It's the kill. Kind of useful, but also not being on the grass to orb is terrible. Create banished Pyre either returns with infinite stamina or as a fast moving howler. That's good. Except it doesn't say instantly returns, so once they come. Black Claw bears aura, remains while grasping the orb, but cannot be cast. So someone with a big aura would benefit from this. Or if you just tag a lot like I do with Ezo. I'll consider that one. And the heart. I'm thinking both of them will probably go good on Tizo. No, I'll look at what he's got currently equipped. Right, just that. I should look at his skills. Did I invest in anything related to his attack? I did. Alright, I think I will get the Black Heart then.
Oh, you white eyes.
I might put one on Jodariel because their presence is so big. In fact, since her casting sucks, and like faster and farther is nice, but it still takes a while to do, I think I will give her the claw. Don't have enough. Oh shit. Falcon run.
Mr. Lelios Tay.
23. Can I sell? Oh, Headwind's gone, so I can get rid of this. Alright. Pretty against that hoof. Everything else pretty good. +5. Talisman I want to upgrade. +5 will probably boost that to 500% or something. I don't think it really needs enough though. And hers at max rank. Those getting a spark. This one can't be upgraded. Upgrade that. Alright, let's go with that. Wow. Big difference. It went up 1 point for 5 levels. I should be able to get 3 more levels. 30. Yeah. Probably only go up another point.
Tashe Ligaratus. Rotave Baros. Haro Destecan. Me voluntave. Mi veritavos te. Geresama rictus.
I don't know what he's so afraid of. None of us talk to Manny. And it really pisses him off. Adversaries each deal additional damage. I mean, because my glory's so low,
Unfathomed.
I have pretty low hopes for this.
Indriga, the widow.
Meaning,
By a
just go all in and see if I can get an achievement. I don't even care about achievements, but I want it. I guess it means I care.
Reader, or should I say deceiver? For I detect another exile in your ranks. The exile Volfred Sandalwood himself, that cursed sap. I ought to have known he was behind all this. He has no love for our sacred tradition. Yet you would heed his poisoned words over mine own? I thought that we were friends. Then fine. Let us return to a more formal distance.
Ah, boy. Feels so good. Guys, I fucking hate the summer. It's always the worst. I know I complain that spring's pretty non-existent. But summer, it's always just too much. Thank God it only lasts like 2 months, but still.
Llegar estás.
Gotti, bro, you're wearing fucking golden pink.
What a kind of Fridays day. Settle on Thomas Day. Oh, oh.
Llegar estás. Tal día reprevaren.
It's weird that they always make us learn these in the middle of a rite when we have a way to train before a rite. You think once you join the team, they'd give me like a Paper Mario-esque tutorial in the Void Zone.
Liberitavos te.
And there he is at last, alive and well. I know that you can hear me, Sandalwood.
Oh, that's cool.
You're causing quite a stir out in the Commonwealth. You plant your little seeds of discontent. Know that your designs at sowing chaos shall not be tolerated here. Now, good evening to you.
You can only spawn one at a time? Alright.
Vera bra. Roxalas rotaran.
Settle on Thomas Day. Curabrem teraframsis. Magenta.
I feel like he's gonna take this the wrong way anyways. But I feel like that makes it even more threatening.
Tempretali. Sata.
Choose quickly, your triumvirate.
Well, we're throwing Volford in right away. He might not even be good against this team, but you know what? Look at all that green. I have to cash it in.
Volfred.
Courage.
What kind of team do they have? Obviously manly, but where's that curve? No, it's just a tribal or whatever. And there's a fish boy. I think Rookie might do good here. And I need someone. Someone mobile. Ametha, maybe? Nah, she doesn't have any green. Oh, Gilman.
Sir Gilman, the choice is cast.
I kind of tried to stay. Sarum Goji.
Commence. Another
Fucker.
banishment. An opportunity.
Passing this off to Gilman. And, oh shit. I thought you auto jumped over that. I don't remember the controls. Is it X? It is. Okay, well.
The night wings
That's how it's done.
march upon the flame. Manly's out of luck for now. So it is.
Manage 2 exiles in a single cast. Forgot those are even a thing. I feel like I haven't been doing them.
Que prefestamos Sim dare tu vez.
That manly tinder staff has such a mind for politics.
Seems as long as I get that quick cast on the orb, we're good at securing it. I might be able to make that jump, but it's kind of risky. Fuck it. Yeah! Ah, I missed. Ever so slightly.
Rookie doused the adversary's flames.
I'm doing a lot better than I thought I would, all things considered. Oh, how dare you?
Such chaos.
Bastard. Gonna hold on to this.
Headlong goes Sir Gilman into flame. Now there's a proper dousing.
Damn. You take many of those.
Spectacular!
Spectacular! Immaculate! Oh boy.
Headlong goes Sir Gilman into flame. Sorry, Volker.
Oh no!
All of the night wings vanished.
That's not good.
Well,
Oh. Man, I was thinking I could win. Jesus. You made a mistake! Oh, I made the mistake. Kidding me?
The Worm Knight somehow did it. Somebody get the orb.
Whoa!
There.
Oh my god, she's so fast.
Oh dear.
Is that a tactic I should be using? Just throw the orb whenever I'm going into a dangerous situation?
Cast from afar into the Pyre's flame.
What the hell is happening?
So fiercely fought.
I don't know why the camera was being weird there. I honestly thought I was about to lose the game.
Yes. No mercy shown.
And that's my ball. Oh shit.
Stand not in glory's path.
Oh.
Vampire sputters.
I need to land about 3 more things.
Yes.
Ah! Probably could have got away with that if I threw it.
A swift recovery. Good.
Damn it. You know what, Wilfred? You're on. Ah. Big mistakey.
Oh.
No.
Cur of yours is banished.
Shit, shit, shit. Ah. She's so unbelievably fast. I know it's because of the Titan Star, but still, I can't believe it.
Bask in the purifying flame. Your victory is at hand.
Fuck, I forgot that was Gilman. Damn it.
Oh, you poor Nightwing.
Damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it. Oh,
It is done.
I was so close.
The chastity prevails.
I'm gonna actually leave all of them on for the next one where I'm not at a disadvantage, because I did pretty well.
The rite is complete.
Oh, j'étais le vrai miner. Viralestities.
Huh.
Also, because we lost, we're probably going to fight them at the next thing, which I feel good about. We can definitely beat them.
Oh. Similar towers
He
there.
read him.
Noveltas. Excelia tenandas.
The 8 scribes bless us with their ways.
Right. Jump a second time. Third ball here. Yeah. I feel like I maybe want these two. I think that was probably the plan. But being able to jump twice is pretty okay.
Until the next rite.
Yeah, I can't believe Volford didn't even reach level 1. Back at it against Krispy Kreme.
Sena bebracetas.
Right, they're always a guaranteed win. They're probably going to be ridiculously fast with all the Titan Stars active, so maybe a vanilla team like this would be a good bet. A good record against Barker. I'll go against this one. The normies. Lendl the Liar. First adversary you confronted a Rice not long after he took the first steps on the path to freedom. Former constable of the Commonwealth, gained reputation for a strict and brutal manner. By any means, he's always caught the crook. Once he arrested a civilian who aided him on suspicion of the theft of the Commonwealth artifacts that had gone missing. Lendl discovered the artifacts himself in the civilian's home. Suspects exiled still. He denied the charges, even as they cast him downriver. He probably planned with them. In case investigate further, the two latest suspicions turned to Lendl. Turned out he planned damage on it. What I could say. Downside, he soon became okay, so here's the thing. They exiled the other person while the investigation was still ongoing. It's like not allowed to happen. And it is obviously in this terrible society, but not allowed to happen. Once a ruling's been made, the investigation just has to be dropped because the ruling's been made, it can't be overruled. stopped reading for whatever reason. He asserted himself as the fact that leader of the accused an aggressive nature and burden that he didn't have there much. Each time he came still at Liberty Rose Nightwings either defeated him or simply did not show.
Andiamo, Liberatus.
There, my boy. Brock. Tizo's happy to have Wolford among Nightwings once again. Rahu, though, indicates he understands full well. It's Greek. Tizo confirms he did enjoy traveling alongside the Lone Minstrel for some time. There is Rowan Q, looking handsome as ever. There's all white. Sonic Q for evil consider. That's one of this. Torque. Aki. Bro, Tizo bit him though. That's kind of fucked up. I'm not missing an arm. I gained a friend. Right, book time. Book. Downside climate. I know no polite way to describe the climate here. It oppresses every living thing except perhaps the native flora and specific areas. Once more, the recommended course is to keep moving. Moving keeps you warm when it's cold or when it's very hot. Use what strength you can to move somewhere you can think, breathe. The weather and downside seems intrinsic to different regions, which my good friend Molten Nolta shall describe. Shelter can be difficult to find, and you cannot stay for very long. Perhaps, however, shelter can accompany you rather than constrain you. Makes me wonder why we don't still do this whole caravan thing. I guess there's technically like mobile homes, but for whatever reason, review that as like trailer trash, white trash, poor people stuff. But like whenever people talk about having money and freedom and stuff, they're like, yeah, I just want to travel. I just want to see the world. But like, wouldn't you want to live in a caravan to do that so you can take all your shit with you? I don't know. Also, considering how like important cars are to people now, I think it'd make them one the same. celestial orb. As the two flames are lit, so shall a celestial orb fall from heaven. One such an orb shall be available to stars or fire crowns to vie for it. Cosmetic connection with flames, the raiments of the book shall bestow necessary quantities to bear to prevail. Effortlessly sails the word between the three triumvirate. It seeks to grasp whatever acts amongst the three. Once grasped, the orb shall draw within it all the bearer's aura, fueled by the triumvirate's own flame. Is to be cast into the flame. Why does it steal the aura, though? I don't know. What else we got? Good night, boys. What is life without an adversary? It is not for forces that conspire against the will. Life would be devoid of its innateness, the desire to overcome. Thus, when we, the eight, at last each fashion triumvirate based on our own ideals, we realize a void still need to be filled, as night sky needs the moonlight. We, the eight, were united. Our triumvirate shall share our protection. They need us to set them all against a common foe. Thus we then form the night wings. Triumvirate envisioned to exceed them all, both through means mortal and divine, and giving undue favor in the turning of the cycle. They are adversary we all face. It's not a bad idea in terms of entertainment. Just imagine if there was like a Nazi team in every sport. And I guess that was a reality for a time. But, you know, they're trying to assert dominance, they're rigging games. And everybody just wants to see them lose. There's like stakes in it now, you know? Why would they bother with rigging sports, you might ask? Well, it's just to assert dominance. You hear a lot of, like, communist leaders doing that kind of stuff all the time. Just faking stuff to make themselves look tough for whatever reason. The path. In each fight, we gain enlightenment, whether we prevail or we fail. Indeed, through failure do we tend to learn the most valued lessons, provided we survive. None amongst us have prevailed without end. Exiles who walk the path towards enlightenment shall at times be struck by an epiphany. That's a word I never use because it sounds a little too crazy in the true mastery in some respect. Choose well amongst his blessings we bestow. Thus you shall yet achieve your potential and surpass your adversaries. Wherever you prevail, your triumvirate earns favor. In time, the triumvirate with most favor shall be summoned to Liberation Rite to earn a chance of freedom. Cycles shall begin and Titans actually do was. Highlands Fish, the Hive Titan, vanquished by now. I'm less interested. It just tells me who killed them. Like, I already know the name and what kind of Titan they were. I want to know about them. I see their freaking metal corpse all over the place and want to know more. Liberation. Liberation Rite takes place upon the fall of Solium under a bloodied moon, witnessed by the heralds from the stars. Is that what the two of them are? The one Minstrel and Sunlady? Are they the herald from the stars? It makes sense why they have the symbols. That would also make them out to be angels, like I was suggesting. Two most favorite triumvirate shall confront the one which we appoint. Those two triumphs shall first pass through the scribe gate, where their work shall be addressed under the stars. Only the most enlightened exiles, with each triumvirate may anoint from the chance freedom, through their complaints shall support them, while they scribe the anointed champion of the triumvirate, when the veil shall plunge into full and eternal glory. Jesus! Can't believe we made it through the whole book, disregarding the section that tells me mostly stuff that I already know. Probably gonna be a few more pages, but the reading segments will get shorter. Alright, we're off to another rite. Then a liberation boy, because the cycles are that short now. Holy shit. You take your fucking betting on us, mate. Fuck you up proper. Huh. Snowy desert. Something beautiful about it. Why not? Sounds weird. Contact the apparition. As you walk through a dark corner of Fall Flat, sense presence some sort of witchery out to you. It presents you with a vision of your adversary. You expect to face him coming right. Liberation Rite Wendell offers sway coming right against him in your favor. Except in your adversary suffer misfortune that inhibits his performance. Nothing permanent, it claims. Decline the aberration shall extend its offer to Wendell instead. I mean, it sounds like it's good for me, but there has to be a catch. However, if I decline and he offers something to Wendell, then I'm going to get sabotaged, and it's probably going to have no repercussions for him. So I guess I just have to accept, right? It's going to take longer to respond. This time pertains Brevin, who liberated from his fall of Solium. You learned Hedwin returned safely to Commonwealth, where he was clothed and welcome, his patricians all forgiven. He was to be groomed for the leadership position of his choice, whether on the council or the Blood Brother, each equally lucrative and figurative as well. However, he refused, and before the stunned council members could do anything about it, he left them. He's since made contract with Oldford's agents and is working together with them. Thus, the ranks of the revolution grow stronger. For the messenger and the custom, the last part of the message was transcribed from Hedwin. Word for word says, "Keep going, I'll see you out here." He really should have took a leadership position. It really would have helped. Think about messenger. For example, Hedwin says for us all. Free ha! Well done, boy, and you can do it. Spirit for I'm tripping on my words. He did it.
Yay. Buff. Falcon Run has new items, apparently. Just potions. What is this? Another curse? Flame Leech. After dousing adversary's fire, Bear's power recovers equal to 50% of the damage dealt. Holy crap. So good. What can I sell? I know I have one that does something similar to that. Yeah. It's gotta be one here then. Yeah, this is garbage. I'm selling it. Right. I don't know why I don't just sell the things that I know I'm not going to use, but I want to have them. Doing alright with all the freaking things enabled, and this time we're gonna win. No, protect personal vendetta against Tizo. Who could hate Tizo? You kidding me? I guess that means I should put Tizo in. Wow, look at this fucking buff boy. Shaq's 6 shoulders. That's a tongue twister. Shaquille O'Neal. Well, you know, that really sucks.
6 shoulders.
Let's turn it on.
Listen well, you exiles of the Night Wings. You are returned once more unto the spring of Jomir. The triumvirate you stand against shall be the accusers. Extinguish now their pyre, and glory shall be yours. Now prepare yourselves.
Rock! Tizo's angry, you stumbled, doing a pair of trap blade. I want to
Destruma Liberage. Audira Sacretoras. Who shall it be this time?
I'm sorry, did that item say it increased their life force? Oh no. We're not winning. Look at Tizo. Not winning. That Dariel.
Joe Dariel.
Big aura boys. Big aura boys.
Volfred,
Gotta stop.
it is done. Salas. dangerously close.
See, you get past this, fuckers. That is ridiculous. This is gonna be a runner. Oh no.
Woe is you.
Whoa. Oh.
Your adversaries did not hesitate. Be gone!
I actually don't want to banish this last guy because of the thing. Of course, maybe the AI is aware of that, and they'll just run into it and bring themselves back. I'd shit myself if that would have happened.
Wherever did the night wings go? Gravetare rumta. Verudnage arpas. That Lendl certainly enjoys a rousing speech.
No.
Unacceptable.
God, this is just pathetic.
Banishment. Beneath contempt. And it is done.
Wow.
The accusers prevail. Their adversaries prove no match for them. The ceremony is complete.
I can't believe how fucking pathetic that was. We're probably gonna face them, actually. Aww.
Grata prave. Som penitente hare. Ra. Always is there greater knowledge to be gained.
Man, I didn't know there'd be stakes in it. I guess I wanna let Tizo lose. He's my favorite boy.
That Wilfred always was a little slow to pick things up.
Alright, what we got? Over the banished sapling shall automatically spawn near Pyre until it returns useful. Casting Sprout will sapling spawns faster than usual in games, so work at work. That's really good. Really detonate for Door Blast. Burns out or banished adversary when slowed and can. Useful. I haven't been using a shield ability at all, have I? Bad. I would assume these two stack, so at 50 points total. I think this tree is overall more useful. This is a defensive thing. This makes this sapling better. At the very least, I'll take these three. And maybe get this one instead of the detonate. However, the detonates sound still pretty useful. But once it's up, they just won't walk into it. It's pretty hard to
Tis the wisdom of old 100 lines. Until the
Being able to
next.
detonate it turns it into an actual attack, which is pretty important. Yeah, I think we can go with that.
Ravensare.
Alright, obviously I'm gonna turn all these off, but guessing right now it's gonna be the accusers.
Sarata Noxalas.
However, because these cycles are all getting shorter, I can see that people might want to do the Liberation Rites with the stars active. They need the experience to level the people up still. Oh boy. Giza seems unhappy about something Wendell said to him. Giza understands full well Wendell. Giza does not like Wendell as a person. He recognizes them unless they deny freedom. Now, was a Liberation Rite. He did what he felt was necessary. He wanted to help his friend go free. Unless he feels certain guilt and regrets the exiles in such a situation. It's not even his fault. All he did was participate in the game. How was he mad at Volfred? It's on for Rob. Whether the scribes ever intended for him, because he anticipated right to understand is difficult to know. I'm grateful for listening. Transferring the rights within minutes. He promises to keep doing his best to live up to the legacy of the scribes. Hands up to rappers with the modern fearless literature, the descendant of Dispalo. Naturally, the scribes would have been proud of him. Liberation time. You're gonna win. Not actually sure we're gonna win. What the hell is happening? I killed him! Oh my god. Your flight takes you in the area where you breach the storm wall in the Deathless Tempest. The climate and downside intensifying, you wonder if the storm has spilled forth from its confines, starting to ravage other regions of the land. Once more, we sail above the coastal, and the Temple of the Eight Scribes awaits us at the summit. See Temple for west. The Temple of Rite starts its beginning of page over its course, also includes something. Okay. What's the landing spot? May will gain favor. Volfred shall gain favor. And we're gonna keep using Volfred just because it has all that potential to reach max level quicker than everyone else.
Ligaratus. Memsaro distara. Aretoros.
Right, well, also, excuse my prejudice, but as a tree person, I would assume they have a less harsh time down here. They're trees, do they have to eat? I don't know. He probably has to drink water still, but like, he has roots that can't be too hard to find. Even down nearby river, of course there's water. What I really don't understand is whether or not you can feel the weather. As on that basis alone, I would have left Wolfred, because he's just a piece of wood. Really, life can't be too bad for him. +1 quickness. Kidding me? Forage, mentor, companion. I don't even know what I want to let go. Probably Rookie. I feel like this is gonna raise the green, so I don't want to waste it. Tizo and oh shit, that was raw experience. So that's gonna be our team. Rookie, Tizo, and Wolfred. What a coincidence, both of them got a thing here. Rookie can triple jump now, so he's got it all figured out. Presents, hell yeah. The Hunter, Scramsgate, Archway.
Salutium Ceres.
Thumb of Salas.
Noriga Santa.
Ausipra Yuram. Sima Quagram.
Maybe she said that because once the rites are done, they have nothing to do. Or maybe their lives will end and they'll be terminated. Nah, you probably just go to sleep forever.
Vale.
Tirinde Saririctus. Sala Templis.
Per reliquia prale.
Mera me sombreval.
Sintare. Lorigasan gratas.
Samea,
Kivaret.
volunta lorigas. Sum kore vara.
Paprastum.
Admare lorigas.
You slick.
Lugisi flies.
SOP. Did I not pick another mushroom?
Hate the talaflies.
No, it was ready, but I didn't pick it. I can fully buy that.
Moshe.
Giving this to T-Zone.
Handful wonka talamines.
Estas. Impradevan de sare. Foreign Sartegas.
Tell me about Brighton. Why is he not dark?
Temdare is not it. Noretam dieve. Nemtaren Tempras. Tesarem Varus.
Oh. Okay. So everything I was saying. Dumb. Alright, well. Why do you become a jerk? Archjustice Androboles the Ninth. Wow.
Le crafta cerebara. Haro destacar.
Well, that explains how none of the exiles get recognized once they come back. They all keep wearing the masks. Which is pretty cool. There's an aura cool.
Sere ocuprare. Liberation Rite. Cognere mage.
Come on. There's gotta be some lenience for that. It was self-defense that turned into murder, but it was self-defense.
Quare praxis? There's a room desta? Pretere magretas. Terrafas in pradum. Tere cradedas. Noretam dieven. Senave veracitas.
That is all.
Condiame ligaratus.
It went up 1% for nothing. Downside dining. How's to save oneself with food and drink in such a place as this? The less said of it, the better. Do not complain, observe, and above all, keep moving. Sources of sustenance avail themselves to those inner sense. In warmer climates, search the ground at the break of day for subterraneans. Older places, dig for them. Give them purpose. Drinking pools are rare, but moisture in abundance. Outside of the sand vaults, some is poisonous. Take only downside limits an opportunity for access. It provides enough amenities to meet the needs of life. One who hands a helpful feel a sense of gratitude. All the food tastes like shit, but at least there's a lot of it.
Liberatus.
Baroshta. Tasta lurigasertas.
Another one? How many stars are there? Jesus. Average race fighters from power on 28. Oh my god, no. We're disabling all these. We're gonna win this, and I'm not gonna be embarrassed, because we're gonna win it.
Once more, the Nightwings gain the summit of the sacred Mount Aladiel to conduct the Liberation Rite. Even as the stars themselves abandon you. Make good upon these final opportunities, reader. This glorious age-old tradition coming to an end upon your watch. I trust your adversaries, the accusers, shall not throw away this chance. Choose now who may go free, should they unfortunately fail.
Volunta lorigas.
Volunta lorigas.
Regeta noxalas.
Runca Saras.
Consiltaran.
Tushim lorotrodia.
Gonzales.
Noxalas.
Liberatus.
Tu pramalira.
Elantas eres.
Whom do you intend to liberate?
They are liberating Ricky.
Ruki, who shall stand with him?
And then Tizo, because he has stakes in this, so I don't know if he'll progress his thing or not. And Wolfred, because look at all that potential.
Wolfred. It is done.
Alright, we got this. 2 demons, no problem.
Commence.
Son of a... bitch. Sin resists translation. I say Tito does not hold Mundle in high esteem. Tito does not hold Mundle's mother in high esteem either. Silly that he's essentially mad at an animal. All the things he can blame, he picks like the least intelligent of the races. Well, can jump that. Oh.
Such a display.
Ah, that's a bad. Oh. No, yeah.
Poof goes left.
Oh. Come on. Come on. How is that not touching him? Unbelievable.
A stroke of luck is all.
Got him.
For all.
Whoa.
The orb flies true.
Or a game. Oh. The reward is already so big.
That Lendl yearns to regain his status in the Commonwealth. Would you deny him that?
Absolutely. One little guy in the butt. Oh shit.
No, you don't. Such secret.
Oh, I just missed him. What a shame.
The orb, take it.
No. Just hit the jump button.
Now, take it.
Little bitch.
Magnificent. A banishment. In the name of Solium Mur, the Night Wing shall prevail at this rate. Seize the orb.
Come on. Come on. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Keep missing. These are the most agile big boys I've ever seen in my life.
A deftly thwarted drive.
Oh. No! Ugh. Not just sad.
win. Or dunks. What is happening? I actually couldn't control my character anymore. That was a bug. Shizzle!
There it is, at last. The accusers proved their worth. The Nightwing.
Right, as far as I'm concerned, I won that.
Doing so.
The game bugged and cost me a match point.
Thus ends the Liberation Rite. And thus the
Pretty pissed.
scribes have chosen the exile appointed by the
But
accusers.
again, I do kind of want to see that ending.
Absolved
Also
of all
pretty pissed.
misdeeds. Return to glory in the Commonwealth. His adversary and all others shall remain to carry out their rightful sentences.
I am blowing the game fluid, bro. Shit. Right, well, the justice system just got fucked. And I feel so bad about the demon man. The cult lady's probably doing some bad stuff. That's a legitimately bad outcome, though.
Godspeed, Lendl. The 8 scribes are watching from afar. By their grace, may the cycle of the rites keep turning for as long as possible.
Damn.
May the scribes have mercy on us all.
Trust me, Tizo, it's a lot worse on me than you. It's like when you watch someone play a kid's game and they cannot
they cannot make any progress. Because they weren't made to make sense, they just have a lot of cool things happening. So a lot of them are actually really freaking hard.
Atacarum Saravan. Atamere.
This sounds very discouraging, but it's how I'm feeling. Sure. Yeah, you know what, Sir Gilman, it has been glorious. We've been defeated so epically so many times.
Terun castrale.
Marum domirensas. Roxanas!
I all gain +1 hope. Yay. God knows I need it. Wow, it's already starting up. We don't even have to wait in the alcove.
Terun castrale.
Alfred's Pyre. We're never gonna know. Why is it always a question mark? It looks like all the stars are glowing. Our probability of success has by some miracle gone up. I guess Edwin's the only guy we're gonna need. Right after that disastrous defeat, we're taking on Sir Deluge. Time 2 hours. I might try to wrap it up. I've got games to talk about, so that should take about half an hour. Otherwise, guys, it's just a summer. The heat makes me feel so drained. I'm not someone who drinks enough water on the reg, but being sweaty just makes it so much worse. Teasel Black Eye looking rather more despondent than usual. The attempt to reach out to him, he barely acknowledges it. Free home. Tizo indicates that he wishes to be left alone right now. Almost run into May as he turned to the lead.
May I discolor?
During this response to the check once he's on and they think now.
Si tempi vilia.
Does Tizo have the runs? Is that what you're saying? Oh no. That's the shit coming out of his ass.
Linetia.
Alright, let me do some counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So because we need 3 people to conduct a rite, 6 is the maximum number of liberation rites that could have possibly happened, because we would have lost 6 people and only had 3 left. Meaning that since we have done 4, there are 2 more liberation rites. Meaning I'll probably be able to finish this next time, question mark? I only did 3 rites this time, but I feel like I spent a lot of time reading and complaining about the heat. Alright, let's... Where's the guitar? There it is. Right. I'm like not hearing this song. Put this one on, why not? What have we got? Let's see. Switch views. What's up, everyone? Damn it. Oh well. We'll do stuff. So, we're talking about video games. Let's see, I played Fallout, the first game. Bought it on GOG for $1, maybe. It was pretty cheap, as you'd expect. It's an old game. Now, in the past, I've heard a lot of good things about these ones, the Interplay Fallouts. More so about 2, but both of the games are really praised for the amount of ways you're able to solve situations. And I gotta be honest with you, I just don't see it. Now, I think that's because I literally couldn't see it, is the thing. See, in something like New Vegas, the dialogue system will always show you that if you had 50 in explosives, you could do this special speech check, right? However, if you don't have that 50 in explosives, you're just not even going to see the speech check in this game. Same goes with when you level up. It's all based on, like, your weapon skills that you have, or your special stats. So, your perk list is going to be pretty constrained based on what you specialize in for your character. It's going to feel like you don't have a lot of choice when you level up. So, I guess just because of the way I built my character, I didn't have a lot of choices for doing things. Now, I talked about a revisit to Fallout 3 not long ago, and I don't know if I mentioned or not, but I maxed my luck in that run because I thought it'd be goofy, and it ended up being ridiculously overpowered. I actually ended up having to disable kill cams because they happen so frequently. So this time, I went with the complete opposite, and I took all of my points out of luck. And also, in the traits thing, there was one that was called, like, Jinxed or something that made critical failures happen to me and everyone around me a lot more often. So I took that. And I was thinking to myself, well, this is just gonna be hilarious, and it was. And I actually made the smart choice of going with unarmed, because apparently when a critical failure happens in this game, you have chances for stuff like losing all your ammo, the weapon being destroyed, or just really shitty stuff like that. So, for whatever reason, the unarmed weapons don't get destroyed. All that will happen with a critical failure is you might hit yourself. So that ended up being a blessing. Now on character creation, because I went with someone with the worst luck in the world, I fittingly named him Toma Kamijo, and I kind of built my character around that roleplay. I made him only moderately strong. I think he had maybe 6 or 7 points in strength, despite being unarmed. I made him tanky as fuck because he needed it. Like, I think I took all his points out of luck and dumped him right in his endurance, which affects how your hit points grow when you level up. And then I put a fair amount in charisma, which didn't actually do very much for me. See, the idea was this brick of a boy happens to have a harem for whatever reason. So I level up speech because that's just a thing you do in the modern Fallouts. Is do it because speech is OP and it always gets you good stuff. However, luck is very powerful in this game in that it affects literally everything, including chances for speech to succeed and all of your other skills like repairing and stuff. So, despite having points dumped into speech, it very rarely worked for me, which meant I often had to punch things to win. Which, at first, it worked kind of well because the enemies got critical failures all the time. So, like, I'd fight a rad scorpion and it would poison itself. Or, like, super mutant critically misses and breaks its leg. So it really wasn't that bad, and once I dumped enough points in my unarmed, I wasn't really missing too much anymore. The worst that would happen is that I would critically hit and do no damage, because unarmed weapons are actually pretty weak. Speaking of which, there's very little variety of weapons in this game. About each type has maybe 3 variants. See, there's an SMG, the 10mm pistol, a 13mm pistol, which, why isn't that in the other games? It's kind of epic. There's a rifle, a sniper rifle, laser and plasma rifle, a laser pistol, brass knuckles, spike knuckles, power fist. And then there's like combat knife and ripper, normal knife. Those are all the weapons. There's very little. Same thing with armor. There's the leather jacket, the metal armor, which is analogous to leather, it's just whichever one you prefer. The metal is like better against laser weapons, but nobody has laser weapons, so it's useless. And there's the combat armor and Brotherhood combat armor, which is only a little better than power armor, which you can only get by joining the Brotherhood. Right, very little variety and all that. Anyways, the difference between the brass knuckles and the spike knuckles is negligible, so the only thing that really matters is acquiring a power fist, which does actual damage. Compared to everything else, it's like comparable to a gun. And what's weird is it actually takes energy cells as ammo, which, you know, I didn't expect that. It's a fist weapon, why would it take ammo? Whatever, it's cool. So anyways, yeah, my character didn't have a lot of opportunities for dialogue options because of his stats. We ended up having goofy combat encounters most of the way. There weren't a lot of quests nor areas. When you get to the world map the first time, you'll see like a spot on the side of the screen with like 10 dots on it, and those are like fast travel points. But those are actually the only locations in the entire game, so there's like 10 locations. And each one has maybe 2 quests, if any, in it. That was kind of disappointing. And even then, a lot of these are like unfinished or unimplemented, and that was really sad to see, because a lot of things affecting like end states are just broken. and that you'll only be able to get the bad outcome for everything because the good outcome wasn't properly implemented, because that was a late in development decision, and it's really disappointed. And yeah, there's a lot of things like that that feel unfinished, and it made me very sad. Without going into spoiler territory, I want to say that when Bethesda made Fallout 3, if all they did for research was go back and play the first game, I think that they've made an adequate sequel, because it's basically the same kind of content. There weren't any factions to worry about. There was kind of a good and evil system. They kept the same cast of enemies despite it being on the opposite coast. Like, why the hell are there scorpions in Pennsylvania? I don't know. The weird, almost claymation-looking CGI was neat, but there wasn't a lot of it. The game wasn't incredibly long, and really, I'm just kind of underwhelmed with how so much of it is just unfinished. I understand there's a content restoration patch for Fallout 2. I don't know if one existed for the first game, though, so sucks. And what's even weirder is, since Obsidian tried to make a more direct Fallout 3 with New Vegas, they took a lot of the unimplemented endings as canon, and like, how could they do that if nobody saw them? I guess the video files are technically in there for you to watch, but they were impossible to do. So, I don't know, it was neat, it was worth a try, but I was pretty underwhelmed with it. I did also buy Fallout 2 alongside it for pretty cheap, and it is noticeably just a lot more improved. UI is nicer, game's faster, leveling feels smoother. By the way, I was like level 13 when I finished the game. In a D&D style game, the max level is typically 20, so you'd expect to be around 20 by the end of the game, but no, I was like halfway through the leveling. Anyways, I haven't finished too, so I can't talk too much about that, but it's noticeably a lot better. I can see why this one is a lot of people's favorite. Right. Number 2, game number 2, we played, Chasm. I actually wrote a review on Steam for this one because I had such mixed opinions about it. I gave it a don't recommend because it has some glaring flaws, but it's by no means a bad game. Basically, it tries really hard to play something like Symphony of the Night, but it has very shallow mechanics, and the whole world is procedurally generated, which is something that you typically wouldn't want in a Metroidvania, because the map design is so important. By the way, I just put out a video about Metroidvanias, and yeah, again, it's like the only serious video I've ever done, so go check it out, please. Anyways, yeah, so I don't think the procedural generation helped this game at all, and because the upgrades and boss fights aren't mixed or anything, even the rooms with puzzles where you use the abilities you require are all going to be the same across all these runs. It doesn't help replayability either, so it makes me wonder why they couldn't just design a map with good pacing, because the pacing can be pretty terrible at times. Because the drop rates are so low in this game, and I made that a very big point in my review. It's very hard to get anything. It's very hard to get money, it's very hard to get loot, it's very hard to get healing items. So at most of the time, you're at the mercy of the randomly placed save points, which you usually have to go through hard-ass hallways of enemies. And yeah, there was a lot of bullshit happening. I played on hard mode, which was my mistake, but the game's supposed to be like 10 hours long. I think I put in about 18 before I got to the end, and I couldn't even finish it because the save point at the end was so far from the boss, and I was completely out of healing items that I couldn't even go back to the town and buy them if I had the money to buy them. So I was pretty much fucked out of resources, and by the time I got to the boss, I just couldn't even do it anymore. I was pretty done with this game, especially with how shallow the world progression felt. There's a sort of Diablo loot modifier system on all the things you get from chests too, so every time you open up a chest, knowing that's the only new equipment you're getting for a while because your drop rates are so bad, you're now encouraged to save scum and go back and open that chest however many times until you get a gold version of it or whatever, which is a shitty mechanic. Otherwise, the gameplay doesn't feel terrible. The one thing it's missing from Castlevania Symphony of the Night is the shield. It's a side scroller, so all you can do is jump over enemies or dodge backwards. I think that having a block option is pretty important, or at least a better dodge, because this dodge goes a set distance, it's not very far, it's not very fast, and you don't have iframes during it, so it's basically useless. I didn't use it very much. You're better off just jumping and moving backwards, because it can be faster at times. And some enemies that like to charge at you, the dodge is completely useless against, and sometimes the ceiling's low, you're stuck to get hit. And that absolutely sucks. Also, all the enemies have contact damagers, which I don't really like in a game with melee combat, a side-scroller game. Because you have to get close to hurt them. Why would you put a contact damager on them? In fact, the very first enemy you run into is like a little goblin with a knife out, and he doesn't even have an attack animation. He just walks up to you and his knife touches you, I guess. And that's how you get hurt. There are some enemies with actual attack animations, but still, it just like, it grows their contact damager, I would assume. Otherwise, the magic system's kind of busted. All of them are basically copies of sub-weapons from the normal Castlevania games, like the throwing axe and the holy water. And, pretty much your mana pool is the only thing that reliably grows for you when you level up, so it's always getting better. And there's no attack delay on any of these things, so you can just spam the crap out of it. And each one can be leveled up 3 times, so something like the throwing knife can be upgraded to throw 3 knives at once, and you can turn that into a semi-auto shotgun. If you're looking for a way to cheese the game, that's it, but it doesn't feel good to do that, so it's not necessarily a good thing. I also just thought that the movement didn't feel great. I felt the character could have been just a smidge faster. The wall jumping felt pretty bad. That's one of the upgrades you get, by the way, a wall jump, which makes the ledge grab one feel terrible. Because you just like slide against a wall when you're trying to grab the ledge, and it's freaking annoying. Executing the wall jump's kind of annoying. I described that in the review as well. And yeah, I just don't want to keep bashing on this game, but I was pretty disappointed by it. I hadn't heard amazing things about it. Like, I knew that the procedural generation was a real hindrance on this one from the beginning, but I wasn't expecting to be annoyed with the drop rates and such so much. Alright, last game number 3, the Saboteur. Published by EA. I don't know if it's available on Origin, though. I got it on GOG. I believe it was on Xbox 360. So this is another, like, open world style game. I guess you would compare it to something like Mafia. There's not quite as much to do as in a GTA type game, but I don't know, you're in Paris, it's got car stuff, and you're like an Irishman who likes to play with dynamite and shoot Nazis. And that's the game. There is a disgusting amount of targets to blow up in this open world. It feels like an actual occupation in that sense. There are freaking guard towers everywhere. There are refueling stations. There are zeppelins in the sky. If you piss off the Nazis and get the alarm level up high enough, they'll send freaking planes after you. Yeah, there's way too much stuff to do. I think I got about 40% of it done by the time I got to the end of the game, and I'd say that was about enough. I was never pressed for money to buy upgrades or anything, or ammo. That's where most of it went towards the end. Once you unlock the most powerful guns, the ammo is really expensive. What's weird though is there isn't like a reliable way to get money aside from destroying those open world targets. And to do that, you need to buy dynamite, which you can't carry very much of, which is kind of annoying. At first you can carry like 2, and then after destroying like 2 things, you get the first perk, which will expand to 4, and you can expand to 16. And the last perk is actually pretty hard to get, so I didn't get that one, but I assume it expands your capacity again. And you can also get like remote explosives, which are a lot quicker to place. You can carry the same amount of them, so it kind of doubles your explosive capacity, but still, you have to spend money to make money. I would say the most unique thing about the game is, of course, the art direction, and that when you're in the Nazi-occupied zone, the world's like desaturated and goes like in black and white. But it's not just straight desaturation, because reds and blues are still present. The reds, of course, being Nazi stuff, and the blue stuff being rebel stuff. You're in Paris, by the way, I don't think I mentioned that. Which is an open world I've never been to. I know Assassin's Creed Unity took place there, but that game wasn't good on launch. I understand it was free for a while, and a lot of people picked it up and liked it, but I never played it. The cars don't feel terrible. They're not like as realistically simulated as, say, the ones in Mafia 2, but they feel alright. There's actually a perk related to collecting like all of the cars, and I kind of cheesed it by triggering a Nazi alert and just like going back to a base, stealing the cars after they get out of them, go back to a garage, pull out, go steal a different Nazi vehicle. It was pretty ridiculous. Speaking of the whole resource management issue, if you happen to start a mission and don't go to the objective right away, you can go spend all of your dynamite, go destroy world objectives, and then die, and you'll get all of your ammo back, and the world objectives will remain destroyed, as well as all the money you gained or spent during that time refreshed. So that's basically infinite ammo. All you have to do is die occasionally. Otherwise, it's a relatively unremarkable cover shooter, I hesitantly call it. You don't really need to stay in cover too much. You really just run around and shoot stuff, like from the hip fire, like you would in Grand Theft Auto. There is a cover system, but you don't have to use it. And it's a stealth game too. The stealth's very rudimentary. If you manage to stealth kill someone, you can take their uniform and use that to get like a brief period of not being auto-detected, but you're still like super suspicious when you're doing anything while disguised, which I thought was a bit weird. Anyways, I guess the real selling point... Right, never mind, I didn't finish talking about the art style. I went on a tangent. So in the occupied zones, it's desaturated, but when you go destroy like a Nazi outpost or something, a color bomb will go off and like the stuff will come back. Or in areas that don't have outposts in them, it's just based on the world space objectives. So as you clear them out, it'll see color come back, and it kind of smoothly transitions. So if you like stand on the border between the two, you'll see like some things are black and white and some things are in color. And it's smooth. What's weird though is when you go into the black and white zones, it's always nighttime for whatever reason, so you can just drive from night into day just like that. But when you're in a colored zone, I think that the graphics start to fail a bit. It all just looks very fuzzy. I get it was on Xbox 360 and that's how things were at the time, but I don't know. I think it has something to do with Bloom. There were no graphics settings available. I guess it was a straight console port. So the color bomb thing, unique, I guess, but it's also kind of exactly what the Blob did, which I love the Blob, and it's not a cover shooter, so there's that. Alright, as I was going to say, I guess the selling point here would be the story. This isn't some war game. I just said you're an Irishman in Paris planting bombs. This is like a drama movie thing about World War II. I guess you could best compare it to something like Inglourious Bastards, ? I'm gonna be honest with you, I've never sat through that whole movie, it's kind of boring. Let's see, you're like a race car driver. There are races in this game, and once you unlock the race car, it's the best thing to drive because it's crazy fast, and you can eventually upgrade it with like nitro boosters and machine guns, and this is all very Hollywood. You have like a vendetta against a Nazi general because he fucked you over in a race and killed your brother / friend whose sister you're trying to slam, who gets caught up in your revolutionary bullshit. There's this hot-ass British chick who is also a spy, so there's like spy stuff going on that you get involved with, in addition to the French Revolution stuff. And, you know, it was an alright story. Again, it feels like a movie. Maybe it went on for a little too long in terms of pointless side missions. But, you know, if they just condensed it a little more, I would have been happy with it. I think it took me about 20 hours to beat. And there's obviously a lot more stuff to do in the open world afterwards, but I felt no need to do that. Look, I don't not like the game, I'll say that, but I feel very much the same way about it as I would with something like Uncharted, or the aforementioned Mafia 2, or the more controversial Last of Us 2, which just released. I haven't played Uncharted or The Last of Us, but this is my opinion for basically every single cover shooter in existence. They're just mediocre games. It's a cover shooter. You get behind cover and you're invincible. You pop out for a second, you get melted in half a second. And, you know, it's basically all about waiting. You wait for the guy to stop shooting and leave his head up so you can go shoot, and then you go duck when they start shooting. And that's all there is to it. So, I think that these games only work as a means of telling cool stories. And, you know, in that sense, all these games that people love are good because of the stories. But that's all they are, and I think that they're probably better off as long-form movies. And that's just my opinion. I think that a lot of people realize that when with The Last of Us 2 when they saw that the story was not quite what they expected, or even objectively bad in their opinion. They just realized that the gameplay is incredibly stale because it is. It's just a cover shooter with light stealth elements, anyways. That's my general feel about the game. However, I liked being an angry Irishman. Like, that made things a lot more comedic. So there's that, and I don't know, the art style was cool. It was. I just took issues with the economy. I felt like stealth was unnecessarily cruel at times. The disguise system didn't work incredibly well. Some of the perk challenges were incredibly hard to do. I didn't actually max out all of them because of that. And yeah. If I had to give it a number rating, I'd probably give it a 7. 7 flat. Right? Like, cover shooter, it's a tried and tested formula. It works. It's just kind of bland, so that's like an automatic 5 for whatever it is. And depending on whether or not the story is good or not is what puts it below or above the 5. So, we'll just give it an alright. And there's the end of me rambling about games that nobody probably cared about. Right? Chasm's about 2 years old. People probably stopped caring about that one. And the other two are old. Real old. There's my cat. That's all we've got, guys. I don't know when I'll be back. Hopefully within a week. That's what I'm always shooting for, but last time was a month, so I don't know. Anyways, I'm out of here. Take care, everyone. Maybe we'll finish this game next time. Bye-bye.